of the Texarkana, Arkansas Board of Directors to order. At this time, we'll have a roll call.
Director Brewer,
Here.
Director Jewell,
Here.
Director Smith is absent, Director Roberts,
Here.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Here.
Director Hollibush,
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here. Couple of housekeeping things before we get started. One is, if you wish to address the board tonight, it's beneficial for us to fill out a citizens communication card, get that to our city clerks, they can get that to me, so that we would have a record of you attending. If you have your cell phone with you tonight, we'd ask you to please silence those cell phones during the course of our meeting. So at this time, we'll stand for the invocation. I'll be doing the invocation tonight. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by our Chief of Police, Ed Chataway. Let us pray. God, thank you for this day and all the blessings that you've given us, and thank you for all those that have come out tonight, and bless us as we do the business of the city. For it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, we will move right on into our citizens' communication time. I take them in the order that they were given to me. Ms. Charlotte Bradley.
Good afternoon. Hi, Mayor Brown. I don't know if you remember me.
I do.
It's good to see you. I'm Charlotte Bradley, and I'm president of the Texarkana Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I bring you greetings today on behalf of our 95 members. We don't have any complaints, and I'm sure you're happy to hear that. You said hallelujah. It's probably rare when people get up just to say hi. We're here just representing our community. We want our presence to be known. We want people to know that we care about what's going on in our surrounding areas. We are a sorority of college-educated women. Our sorority was founded on January the 13th, 1913 at Howard University by 22 undergraduate women. And these women wanted to make a difference. We like to call them change agents. Our chapter here was chartered on September the 26th, 1975 by 12 women in the local area. And again, they wanted to keep moving forward and progressing in Texarkana. So today we're doing the same thing. We're stepping out, wanting our presence known, and we want to be seen to know that we're actively involved in our community. Some of our programs fall under our programmatic thrust, which is economic development, educational development, international awareness, physical and mental health, and political action and involvement, which also encompasses social action. So we're about the business. We're about the business of making sure that things run right in our city government, our county government, our state government, and our national government. And again, we want to say thank you for allowing us to be here, and just want to say we're here for good things, and we're also here for bad things. But today, we're here for a positive reason. Thank you.
Outstanding. Ms. Bradley, let me give you my card. Sure there's nothing you don't want to grab about while you're here?
Okay, how much time?
Oh, no.
Mayor Brown, Mr. Jewell, he wanted me to gripe about something. How much time do I have left?
2 minutes and 44
2 minutes.
seconds.
Well, I'm going to say y'all need some more parking. Have you thought about more parking? Okay.
I think we got enough.
Just as a point of reference, I know we have several that want to talk about the item that is coming up on our agenda, which is the item number 4, which is the third reading of the ordinance on short-term residential rentals. It's my understanding that there will be a motion and a second to table that ordinance tonight. So Director Roberts has some comments that he will be addressing at that time, which will address some of the individuals that have already spoke out in favor or against that particular ordinance, but it's my understanding that that should be tabled tonight, so I just wanted to let you know that before you're recognized to speak. If I'm correct, once it is tabled, it will go back to there's an intention to have a workshop, and that workshop will generate with the Planning Commission, with board participation within the Planning Commission for that, providing that it does get tabled. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up. So Tim Johnson.
Yield my time.
Okay.
This is terrible speech.
Mr. Brewster, traffic lights.
First, let me say good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
And I truly appreciate you taking a moment just to hear my voice. And the nature of my presence today is a concern, not a complaint. And I address this as a concern because the State of Arkansas Department of Public Safety has identified fatal accidents and things of that nature at traffic lights. I am born and raised in Texarkana, Arkansas side. But lately, there is a big concern on traffic lights that have not been working properly since the accident. I mean, the storm, the weather, and things of that nature. I understand the city is on the budget, but at the end of the day, my grave concern is knocking on somebody's door, saying their child did not make it home based on a traffic light that may have been repaired in a timely frame. My concern is for the people of the community. We all are Texarkana, so there's no doubt about that. We're just asking and trying to gain clarity with a true projection on when we can get a few of these lights fixed. East 9th Street in Pinehurst, East 9th Street in Jefferson, along with County. So I'm coming today humble and meek, and hopefully we'll be able to gain clarity. And at this time, thank you for your time, and I yield my time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Lee Dow. Lee Day, we might ought to let them know that we've known each other for a long time.
Long time. Well, anyway, I'm Lee Dale Robinson from that unforgettable neighborhood called Mount Addition. I'm up here today, again, once to complain about the noise, the smell, the smoke. That every time we have a meeting about it with Tri-State, we get told that our problem is not with Tri-State, it's with the city. They only do what y'all allow them to do. That's what they tell us at the meeting. The noise ordinance, it's on the city, not on them. We can't complain to them about the noise. Y'all got to do something about it. We had a meeting about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Mr. Gentleman here, Holly Bush was there. And all we keep hearing is, we're not y'all problem in y'all neighborhood. The city y'all problem. Get them to do something about the noise. Get them to do something about the street. Get them to do something about the smell. Get them to do something about the smoke. And I'm back again speaking for my neighborhood and my resident. And what can y'all do for us? We done asked everything we know to ask. Can we get something done in our neighborhood? In Ward 3, can we get something done from the city? Other than being told, maybe y'all need to move. Is there anything else we can get done? I'm just asking. No argument on nothing.
I got a question. Hey, Tyler, can we look at the ordinance and see what adjustments we could, what we can do to try to look at this neighborhood ordinance, this noise problem?
I'll send you all the information that we have on it.
All right.
And of course, I still got, we've been here before about the ordinance, and we was told to call the police chief, call the police department. They'll come out with the meter, right? We all agree that already been told to be done. The police came out 4 or 5 times. Know what they say? You can't operate Tri-State under a noise ordinance. So what the purpose of coming out? It can't be done. So, I mean, who do we go to? We need the city to step in somewhere with y'all degree, with y'all say y'all under oath. I heard at the end of that Pledge of Allegiance a while ago, it said justice for all. We are part of Texarkana. The Mount Edition is part of Texarkana. We want justice too. We want to come outside our house. We can't come out from 6:30 in the morning to midnight. And if you think of land, just come over. Nobody ever just come over. Just come to listen to it. 6:30 in the morning to midnight. And they say they is not going to change their time. And can't no one make them change their time. And the guy, two of the people who were at the meeting, know they said it. If I'm telling a lie, they can call me out a lie right now. We're not with changing our time. We're not going to change the time. And can't no one make us change the time. Now, if someone gave them the time, why can't it be changed? Why can't we as a neighborhood have a great quality of life like the rest of Texarkana, like Sugar Hill, like the Country Club, like all the other neighborhoods? Why we got to have this in our neighborhood 16 hours a day? That's all I want to know. Why we got to go through this without no one trying to get something done?
Director Harris?
If I'm not mistaken, Tri-State operated upon the PUD, and I don't know what, I don't remember what U stand for, but what it mean that they came to the city through the planning committee, and then they asked for a rule of operation. Now, the issue is, since they came to ask for the rule of operation, they telling me when I brought that issue up that they the only one can come back and request a change. Now, the public, the planning lady, Miss Jane, is supposed, and I guess the attorney, they supposed to be checking into it, but that's last year. They ain't heard nothing yet as to who can change. Can a citizen or board member, anybody request their PUD be changed since it was approved by the city? It came through the planning committee system, and that's what they operate on. For you change it, for them getting the time changed, and for them operating it with the noise and all that, you're gonna have to get that PUD change that they operating upon. Now, until you can get that done, that's probably why they keep telling you it's the city. But the issue, technically, what the issue is, they have a PUD, and that need to be changed, as far as I've been told.
And who will have to change it?
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah. And then,
If they don't want to change it, can the city implement a change, or could a board member implement a change?
and you would think maybe the person over the wall might be some type of interested in trying to get something done. You would think that, right?
I'm gonna leave that issue.
I mean, I'm just saying, that's just common sense. Whoever your ward should be fighting for you. We shouldn't have to come in here and fight for every little thing that might happen in our neighborhood when we don't have no one to speak up for us. No one.
So when I went to the planning committee on y'all behalf, and that's what's the issue. Now, you can ask if the city attorney want to inquire or want to respond to my statement. He more likely, and and the public, and the planning committee lady, which she be coming up eventually, she can ask about that, what I'm saying, if it's true or untrue. About that PUD has to be changed.
We always get told by we'll look into it, like, and then the city manager right here, me and Tyler, we all right. No complaints about Tyler. But Tyler told me, before he became the city manager, I'm gonna get you a no truck through sign right there off of East 90 and Couch. So they can stop the 18-wheeler from coming through our neighborhood, you know, like we just staying out on 30 somewhere, out 30. He said we're gonna get a sign. And I'm not following you for that because I know you're busy. I know all y'all busy. But we only get told stuff gonna happen. We don't get nothing. We just get told this gonna change, that gonna change, but we don't get nothing.
I'm sorry, Liddell, I didn't realize that wasn't up yet. We'll get it up right away. I assure you that.
And other than that, I just want somebody to just help us in our neighborhood. Just give us some help. Try to cut out our noise, the smell. Miss Jefferson moved all the way to Dallas because she can't sit in her front yard no more. People can't come out. We don't know what we breathing in the air. I done called the fire department. They come out a couple times. He told me ain't nothing he could do because they got a job to do over there. Everybody got a job to do. And like, we don't matter. The neighborhood just don't matter. And I'm not going to move like I was asked to move. I'm not going to move.
I understand.
And that's all I got. Just somebody, y'all help us out, please. Help my neighborhood. And I'm speaking on behalf of them. If you ask Mr. Holly Bush and this guy here, we had plenty of citizens at the meeting. Most of the elderly citizens that don't want to come walk up these stairs, and they keep saying you just barking up a dark tree, because no one gonna listen to you. But I told them I'm gonna keep fighting for y'all. Y'all come to the meeting in the neighborhood, and I go to the city hall and pass it on what we want. And both of these guys could tell you they was there. Did we have plenty of people there, Mr. Holly Bush?
We did.
You was there. Did we have plenty of people there? They concerned, they just don't come in here, they send me down here. We are concerned about our neighborhood too. We just want to be treated equal like everybody else.
Well, Leader, I appreciate all you do, because everyone deserves equal consideration. So keep doing what you're doing, and so it's our obligation to make sure something happens.
All right, thank y'all.
Hey, Lee Dale, your home it's directly across from Iron Mountain, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, right on the corner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ms. Sullivan?
Mr. Mayor, the Board of Directors, here again, we are having another, not rally this time, but we're going to have discussion, both adults and youth, at this next venture we're having on Saturday, the 26th. We're having another meeting to see what we can do as it relates to this not gang violence, but violence. And we're not just targeting weapons or guns, we're targeting all violence, because we are probably would be surprised at the amount of bullying that's going on in our Arkansas School District. And I just believe that we as a community, leaders as well as lay people, should come together and say, we're just sick of this, and figure out how we can get these guns off the street, because I don't want to be laying in my house in bed and a bullet just come through and hit me. I don't want that, and I want the people that's doing that to know I don't want it. And we as concerned citizens, and we're not a 501c3, I keep telling people we're just a group of citizens that's concerned about the violence in our city. And we would love it, because we know we have 6 ward members. If you guys could come and participate, this time it's going to be at Harmony, which is the old College Hill Middle School. If you can take the time and maybe come out and give your perspective of what you think, because we're asking these youth to come so they can tell us what's really going on in the city. That if you want to know something, that's who knows it. Anyway, as usual, last time I had the wrong flyer, this time I brought the right one.
Yes.
You didn't give the date, but it's the 27th. You didn't give the date, but it's the April 27th, 26th, 7th.
Thank you, Mr. Are you cooking? You cooking?
Yes, Ms. Owens, I support your cause, because when you talk about bullying, it actually happened at my front door today. My son's autistic. They're at Arkansas Middle School, and he was bullied pretty bad today. So I support your cause. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Sullivan? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Ms. Barcy?
Good afternoon. My name is Brenda Bursey. I'm here to address the rezoning of 803 Laurel Street for the 6th or 7th time I've come before you. I submitted a letter of appeal to the city manager on March the 5th, 2025. I have not had a reply. I have not received a reply pertaining to the previous property that's associated with this property that you are going to vote on today. The C3 open display commercial is the most liberal zoning per the planning department. The city council opposed this zoning when it was first brought before you. In that, this zoning would allow anything to be built there, plus outside merchandise display. Even though he says his cars would be fenced in, this zoning allows otherwise. As stated numerous times, the council decided what this area would be, a downtown gateway and gateway community. When it stated that some businesses were allowed, as our planning department indicated, It was for those that serve and promote the community. This business does neither. There are numerous reasons that make this zoning improper. I looked at the state site, the reasons that disallow, that zoning changes should be disallowed is because one of them is that it doesn't coincide with the city's master plan, the master plan that this city council instituted. Would someone tell me how a garage fit into this master plan for this area? Mayor or any of the council members? Tell me how a garage fits into the city master plan. Another reason is that the person requesting this zoning for business purposes is not the one that owns the business. I stated that before. No one replied to that. I consider this a fraudulent request. That's like I go and vote under somebody else's name. Can someone tell me why it is acceptable for one person to request the rezoning for someone else? Another reason that a C3 open display states it is not retail, that is for retail uses which serve the needs of the motoring public. Could someone explain to me how this business applies under that definition? Can the lawyer give me a definition of retail? And does, under his legal profession, does this business fall under retail, a garage? Mayor, I'm asking the legal counsel to answer that, please.
He can answer that for you.
For the definition of retail?
Retail.
Off the top of my head, something in exchange for money. And the second question was a garage?
Does this garage fall up under that?
If he's exchanging something for money, I would assume it would.
Thank you. By the city planning department, and the rep for Mr. Duffer said, this garage is just for self-service, not for the public. It states retail under the state definition. The state says that retail is the activity of selling goods directly to the public. Now, can the board change what your laws say? Because that's what your city law said, that it has to be a retail business that sells to the public, and this garage does not do that. The planning department states Mr. Duffer owns property adjacent to this requested zoning. That's what they keep implicating, that this property is next to his property. But this property is being requested for a garage for Tri-State Motors, which is not under Mr. Duffer's name. I made that statement before. No one on this board said anything about that.
Are you on as far as who owns the business, are you referring to the property that's right there by Church's Chicken on State Line, where they've got the lot there?
Yes.
Okay, who is that property under?
Under a man out of, I think in my last statement, out of Austin, Texas, I think.
Because I believe that is the property owner. Now, Mr. Duffer has leased that lot from that owner.
I'm saying I'm looking at the tax records. I'm saying what's under Miller County taxes, say the owner of Tri-State Motors is a man out of Austin, Texas. That's where they're mailing this tax statement to.
Okay, I thought it was
Beaumont, okay, I forgot what, because there was several meetings ago I told you.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't an issue with the land ownership and not the business.
The business is listed on the tax for Miller County under this man that they mail the tax statement to. So like I said, it's fraudulent request. The board voted this down several times with different errant requests. I would like to know what changed all of a sudden that this board came back, brought it back, allowed it to be voted on again, voted to pass it, and then put it on the emergency clause. Fast track. Just all in one night, you went through it all. What changed to make you decide, after you first initiated it, under the first meeting, that it wasn't proper. Now, all of a sudden, it's done. I'm glad Iron Mountain came forth tonight, because that's what I'm implicating. Marginalized communities are used. Individuals move out of our communities to go live somewhere else on the other side of the city. But when it's something that you don't want in your communities, you put it in ours.
Ms. Parsley, you'll need to wrap up.
All right, thank you. The only thing the rep says is they're going to do for our marginalized community is make it look better. Individuals, is this council saying the minority communities' concerns are not as important as others? I attended 2 other meetings that you had here where 2 other groups of people came before you. Several of your councilmen expressed if they did not represent their constituents' concerns, then their jobs was not validated. Our concerns is just as validated as anybody else's. And you even went against a lawyer's recommendations on what to do, concerned about your constituents' values. Some of you decided to do that. So I'm saying tonight that the community does not want this garage in our community. You fail on having to follow the master plan. There was a fraudulent request. It is not a retail business. The residents object, and it's located in an area of a future historical site. So we are asking that the board takes in consideration that my appeal come back before you and that you vote this down. Thank you.
David?
I'm impressed by these good questions and all this stuff going on here. Do we have a dB rating that's allowed in the city, or is there decibels of sound that's over so much, then we can't, that someone would be called? I know from those mufflers we hear around, it's kind of hard to say that that's true, but if there is a dB rating that could be measured, then that would slow down some of the sound. I don't know if that's just over there at Tri-State or if it's something else. Anyway, I did do what you said and reread the procedures and rules, and I think we get to the same solution. It's just that it says every vote or action, says someone should be able to speak, but I respect how you control the meeting, and you get to, by that same thing, you get to select who speaks and who doesn't speak. So you still have control of the whole meeting, and I respect how it's not a circus like it was at one point in our city, where people thought they were watching Jerry Springer show. I do want to, about the overnight stay thing, I did want to mention that I did not know about it until Channel 6 brought it to my attention. And I lived 4 blocks from here, and I should have known about it, but I did not. I didn't know it was coming through all the different channels. And that's what concerns me, is about the streamlining and the quick things. And I appreciate how we're moving things along and keeping things moving ahead. But I feel like there was things on the first reading that should have been brought out that wasn't really allowed, because we went right into the second reading, and then we kind of slowed it down. But a lot of things we do here go first, second, third. I just want y'all to use your wisdom to be able to say, okay, let's slow down and give citizens a chance. There's some great comments made out here, and I think that they need, for good decisions to be made, I think that's something that needs to happen. I don't know if we ever found out how many cats were what do you call it, written up or whatever, but anyway, You can make a rule that people can't breathe air, but people are going to still breathe air. Just because you do something and feel good about it doesn't mean it solves a problem. So if we can all get together and move ahead on those things that it works for everybody, and it's not going to work for everybody. We all know that. Let me see here. I got 213. Okay. About the overnight stay, I understand that it is going to be tabled, reworked to where it works, tries to work for everyone. We can protect the neighborhoods and still allow things to be done in other areas that are not in that same situation. I want to thank y'all all for what you do. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Channel 6 and Hunter, for being here and letting us know. And, of course, Eric over there doing your job. Thank y'all.
Is there anybody else that wishes to address the board? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Ray Bursey, and I would just like to let you know that on March 5th, I filed a written complaint with your city manager and hadn't received a response. And my complaint was on your C ordinance, and I'm looking forward to getting that response back in writing, like I filed it in writing. And once I get that, then I will address you again. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else that wish to address the board? Yes, ma'am.
May I ask my stars to stand so they can be
Sure.
recognized?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. At this time, we'll move into our consent agenda. We have 3 items on our consent agenda tonight. Item number 1 is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on April the 7th. Item number 2 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Mead and Hunt Incorporated to update the technically based local limits of the South Regional and North Texarkana water treatment plants for the cities of Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texas. Item number 3 is to adopt a resolution to approve and accept the federal award from the Project Safety Neighborhood Grant in the amount of $107,141.92 to implement a task force to identify and target violent crime problems in the city. What would be the desire of the board on the consent agenda?
Motion to adopt.
Second. Shall have a motion and a second to adopt. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And the consent agenda passes. Moving right on into our regular agenda tonight, we have 3 items on our regular agenda. Our first item is item number 4, which would be the third reading to adopt an ordinance to regulate the establishment and operation of short-term residential rentals. I believe Director Roberts.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we table this item and have a workshop. I believe if we bring those together that have short-term rental property, they want something less restrictive, totally understand that. I think that we can get something that's beneficial to everyone. I think that we definitely need to make sure that the people that have short-term rental property that have been active with these meetings are made aware. I don't know, I mean, definitely I'll put it out, I'll text you, anybody, but keep up with us on that. I think the House of Representatives, when the state legislature defeated the Airbnb ordinance, it was an excellent defeat. I think it gave the legislature did not want the state to have control. They wanted local government to have control of that. The Epinets, which I don't know if any of them are here tonight, their short-term rentals are fantastic. I've looked at them. They're well-maintained. I've looked at their rules that they have for renting their property. That is something that we could certainly incorporate into an ordinance. David Peavy just left, and I know that he has a vested interest in downtown. I'm sure his short-term rentals are exceptional. And I know Tim Johnson, who's spoke several times, if your rentals are maintained as well as your home, they've got to be in fantastic shape. I think we need, the stakeholders need to be involved with this, as well as the city, and we can get something, a good ordinance that's positive for Texarkana, Arkansas. And it's not going to make everybody happy, of course, but take the good, take out the bad, and see what we come up with. And again, I respectfully make a motion that this be tabled.
Also,
Yes.
I want to ask the city attorney a question regarding to this. As you know, that most ordinances require 3 readings to complete an ordinance. Now, if they have a workshop is taken, then you come back and you add information or you subtract information. Would that necessarily start the process all back over? Should we just do away with this, per se, this ordinance, and come back with a new ordinance?
Well,
Because what you kind of define, you kind of bypass the 3 reading if they come back.
Yeah, if you change, you're saying if you change the ordinance, essentially you'll have to reread it 3 times.
Well, in my
If
opinion,
it's a
you
new
can't
ordinance.
change the current ordinance
Right.
and read it a third time. You're starting all over.
So basically, should we just dispose of this, then, once they have their workshop, agree to bring it up? Because I know the 180 days is depending on how soon they get it.
But if you,
But the 180 days haven't surpassed before you can bring it back up. So technically, should we just do away with this, vote this down, and come back with a new ordinance?
I mean, I think you're gonna do the same thing either way. So I don't think it really matters. Because you're gonna have to reread the new ordinance 3 times anyway.
I have a comment on
This
that.
ordinance be still on the books, that's what I'm saying.
It's not on the books because it hasn't been voted on, in my opinion.
Well, per
And
se on the table.
If it was, if it's tabled, it has to be placed back on the agenda by the city manager. So if he never places it back on the agenda, it would never get voted on. For,
Yes, the reason that I believe that we should table this, because we need regulation, but at the same time, we want to make sure this makes sense. And so by us not just rushing to failure, I believe perhaps doing a workshop, so we can continue to just iron this out just a little bit more before we put these regulations in place. Because we talk about people's livelihood, that's, you mentioned Epinets. The Epinets is in my ward, and we talk about this all the time. We want this to we want to do it right. We want to do it right. We don't just want to just put it out there, just say we got a law in place and then we can't enforce it. And so that's why I support that we just, we table this, to make it make sense, and we can reorganize and consolidate. I yield my time, Mayor.
Director Jewell?
Well, wouldn't it be cleaner to bring this up for a 3rd reading? And I think the consensus of the board is to vote this down as it's written and bring it up anew after the workshop. I mean, that's the same effect, and we wouldn't have to worry about the technicality of this table.
Well, even if you vote it down, it could come back up after 180 days.
Well, we can waive that like we did.
We can waive it by tabling it and I'll never put it back on the
And
agenda.
be done with it and just bring a new one forward once we've had a workshop.
I'll
We
second
need
the
to do the
motion.
workshop.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second to table. No other discussion? Could you call the roll, please?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the 3rd reading of the ordinance, item number 4, is tabled. Item number 5 is to adopt an ordinance to rezone the property located at 803 Laurel Street from R4 medium density residential to C3 open display commercial. Jamie?
This is the property, if you recall, this property here was, wrong one. This property here, we've already rezoned C3. This is, Mr. Duffer does own this property. This property over here is under his name. He owns a car lot here, and this property here, we rezoned it so he could build a garage to accompany this car shop. Today, we are looking at this lot right here, which will be the parking lot for the garage. It is zoned R4 right now. We have C3 here and across the street, and as I said, we've rezoned all of this C3 already.
Does anybody have any questions for John?
Well, any issues with the technicalities involved in all this stuff that, are we clear that we're doing, I mean, as a board member, I'm relying on staff to be sure that they're doing things
C3
right. Are we
C3
on
zone-
solid ground?
Yes. Yes, we've exhausted all that. We're confident that the correct procedures have been followed. All the i's have been dotted, t's crossed. I see no issue with moving forward with it, presenting it to the board for y'all's vote.
Can you define C3 for me?
I don't have it in front of me. C3,
I have the 10,000-foot view, I just didn't know exactly.
it's one of our more liberal zones. It is the one that allows for a commercial parking lot, which is what this portion of it will be. Our other zones are, C2 is strictly downtown, C1 is general commercial, C3 is the open display commercial.
Any other questions? If not, I would instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance on its first reading tonight in its title form.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 is amended and for other purposes.
So the ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading tonight?
Second reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading, abbreviated form. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Brewer?
Yes.
Director Jewell?
No.
Director Smith?
Yes.
Director Roberts?
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris?
Yes.
Director Hollebush?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 is amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its third and final reading?
Third reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to have it read on its third and final reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Brewer?
Yes.
Director Jewell?
No.
Director Smith?
Yes.
Director Roberts?
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris?
Yes.
Director Hollebush?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 is amended and for other purposes.
So the ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. What would be the desire of the board to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Ms. Bursey?
Yes, thank you. The city manager said he's dotted the i's and crossed the t's. I want to know what I and T you crossed that it says a retail, that this garage sells something. Because retail to me is selling. Would you tell me how this garage is selling?
There is no, I believe that retail probably has a broad definition here, although it's not defined specifically in our ordinances. The definition for C3 zoning, it's open display commercial district. This district is established in order to provide adequate locations for retail uses which serve the needs of the motoring public and are characterized by a high level of vehicular ingress and egress. Among these uses are automobile and other vehicular service establishments, transient sleeping accommodations, and eating and drinking establishments. The district is also intended to provide a location for the limited amount of merchandise, equipment, and material being offered for retail sale that, because of the type of material or transportation requirements, are suitable for display and storage outside the confines of an enclosed building. We do believe that this fits that description.
Now, well, we're seeing two different things, because it said ingress and egress. So that means people, the public is going in and out of service for this facility. What in and out, because they've stated it's just for their use. So what in and out public service are they doing?
As I understand, this establishment is in support of their business. I do believe that this falls within that zoning category. There is not another zoning category that would support this. You wouldn't want to have it zoned residential. It's not residential. The only other option is commercial.
Commercial in a residential neighborhood, where we have stated before, Mr. Duffer has 13 or 12 other lots that he could put this garage on. Why are you allowing him to come in a residential area putting a garage? And it does not, under state definition, it does not qualify. Now, is this city defining what they want to define to allow Mr. Duffer to do what he wants to do? Because that definition, I want to know what, some of the mayor of the council, do you see retail as just something? Retail, one of the members tell me what you think retail means. The mayor.
Ms. Bursey, this is just an extension of his business, and he's asked for this property that he owns to be rezoned. There's a Napa Auto shop right next door to that one. And he has every right, in my opinion, to have these, to ask the board to rezone this. There was confusion in the beginning of this. This process has been going on for 3 months. And there's been some confusions, and your concerns and everything has been addressed. And this is a branch of his retail business, in my opinion, that he will do what he said he will do, that we have, that the planning commission and the city staff have asked him to do in fencing this property off, and he's asked to rezone it. And me personally, as I was the one in the very first time that voted to support it. There was 2 people, I think, that voted to support it in the beginning, and I don't see any issue with it relative to Martin Luther King Drive, where it's being located and where it's at now. It's an extension of his business, and it's the zone that fits that request. And anyone can speak on someone's behalf and ask for a rezoning request, as Travis has done for Mr. Duffer. That does not make, in my opinion, doesn't make anything illegal or fraudulent, because Travis is asking on behalf of Duffer. We have realtors and other people that come here and ask for zoning requests on behalf of other citizens. So I'm not understanding your.
Well, let me explain what I'm saying is fraudulent. When they came forth at the beginning, they said that this request was for Tri-State Motors to build a garage to service their vehicles. That's what they said in the beginning.
I understand that.
Mr. Duffer does not own
It
Tri-State.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He can ask on behalf of Mr. Duffer, whatever business he owns. He's the property owner.
Okay, now what does matter, I filed a written complaint
I understand.
against the board, the
And what
planning
action would you
commission,
like
the
for us to
city-
take? What action would you like for us to take with that complaint?
Answer my written complaint in writing like I wrote you.
Then that would be up to the city manager to address that.
Mr. and Mrs.
But I
Bursey,
haven't
you'll have a written response very soon.
Okay?
Ms. Bursey, I see your contradiction. I see the confusion that you presented over and over, what have you, and I see clearly exactly what you're saying here, and this is why I don't support it.
All right, thanks. But it does not follow your master plan.
Right.
If the man in Beaumont was wanting a garage, why didn't he request it? Not Mr. Duffer. We have a future or school that you have marked historical that you just totally ignoring. So that's why we're asking that this garage not be allowed. Thank you.
And you said will receive my response when? When?
Very soon. I'm sorry, I can't give you an exact date
Date?
because I've got to get with our attorney on that.
Okay, thank you. I suggest you all read C3, the first paragraph. Thank you.
Any other discussion prior to the board voting? We have a motion and a second to adopt. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Brewer,
No.
Director Smith, Director Jewell,
No.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
No.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the ordinance passes. Moving right along to item number 6, our last item on the agenda is to adopt an ordinance to rezone the property located at 4308 Jefferson Avenue from R2 Single Family Residential to O1 Office Quiet. Jamie.
This is the property, this is 42nd Street here, this is Jefferson. Mr. Umbre owns a business right here, he owns several pieces of property in this area, he owns this one. He has a property here that is currently zoned residential. It is on Jefferson, and he would like to rezone it for the purpose of leasing it out for professional office. We're looking to rezone it office quiet. There is office quiet across the street, and this is in keeping with our comprehensive plan, and the Planning Commission really felt like that most of Jefferson here should have been zoned office quiet to start with. There is obviously utilities and sewer and water there, and this is the property. And I believe, is Mark here? Yes, he's here if you have any questions for him.
So Jamie, that property is on the east side of Jefferson,
Correct.
Yes,
and that's across from
His office.
the office that's already there on the west, right?
Yeah, Strip Center, my office, Strip Center, and then, like Billy Cook has, the buildings directly across the street.
he owns this property. Your office is right
Right.
here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Then I've got everything across the street.
Yeah, what's adjacent to the north and south of that, the property you want to be rezoned?
They're residential right now. So hopefully I'll be able to put more money in them. turn
He owns them
Commercial buildings here later. Just gotta do one at a time.
And it's correct, you own that property, right, to the north and south of the
I own
property?
to the south, not to the north, not the one on the north side.
Was there any opposition at the zoning?
And there was no opposition from the public and none from the Planning Commission. We did have one lady that called and said she was in support of it being rezoned to commercial. She
Pretty good.
felt it was
Yeah, I've seen it, so it
safer.
looks nice.
Any other questions for Jamie? If not, I remind the board, this is an ordinance to pass tonight. It would need to be read 3 times. I would instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance in its title form for its first reading.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 as amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading tonight?
Move that the rule be suspended and placed on its on second reading.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 as amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. The desire to have it read on its third and final reading.
Third and final reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to have it read on its third reading. Could you call the roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 as amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. What would be the desire to have the ordinance adopted?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
So have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Hearing none, could you call a roll?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the ordinance is adopted. That is our last item of business before we get into Board of Directors commentary. With the board's permission, we have two that would like, or Mr. May, I guess it's the same thing. Mr. May would like to address the board. Does anybody have any issues with allowing him to address the board, or?
May I go?
Yes.
If y'all have issue with, I would recognize him in my commentation.
I don't have an issue with him.
Okay,
Let him,
all right.
let him speak.
Mr. May, come forward.
I'd like to say thank y'all for taking time to hear me and what I got to say.
You speaking to the mic, please.
I'd like to say thank y'all for taking time to hear me. This problem I've been going on for 3 years. A house running to me has no electric, no water. The breaker box has the whole deal. People have been going up there and sticking nails. I hate for a kid to run up there with that open breaker box and stick something in there. They told her last meeting, don't mess with that house, it's condemned. And that lady went right over there and started toting buckets of water in there, throwing them in the floor, slinging it out. It's terrible. I called Mr. Hall over there to look at what they're dumping out in the backyard. It's terrible. If somebody there's done been one fire started back there that the fire department had to come out. There's no running water at the house. People in there at night. Man, it's hard for me to even get to sleep at night without worrying on either side of me what's going on. And this ain't been 3 months. This ain't been 3 weeks. It's been 3 years this been going on. I please ask that y'all look further into this and do something with these houses. Somebody's gonna get hurt around these old abandoned houses with the glasses knocked out. All kinds of stuff that's a hazard. I just, please, do something with these houses, Miss Sain. She got up and walked out of here and went straight over there and started working that evening. Man, it's just hard to sleep.
Mr. May, what's that address?
1720. Mine is 1716, and there's one right to the right of it.
What street?
Pearl Street.
Pearl.
These houses have not had water or electricity for over 3 years. Man, there's rats that'll whoop a cat. Seriously, not being funny. There's rats. I see 2 cats dragging 1 rat out. Now look, I don't mean to be irresponsible or something, but if this was one of y'all's house on either side with no electric, no water, and what I've been having to smell for 3 years, something's got to be done. And I'm trying to keep my mouth shut. I take all kinds of old medicine. I heard all the time. But I just need some help. This Miss Sain is a joke. She's a Joe Pesky slumlord. We got to get something done. Mr. Harris come over and looked at the problem. They got a new pile of trash out there that I guess they're fixing to burn. I can't get nothing done. I keep trying to be meek and be nice about it and tell y'all my problems. But 3 years, Come on, man, something's gotta be done. Please, help me.
Hey,
Thank
Tyler, I got a question. Do we have a department that address environmental issues? We have a department?
Yes, it depends on what the environmental issue is. Now, this, Public Works addresses this, and we condemned it a few meetings ago, something like that, I believe. It's a process for us to get through bidding all of them out and getting everything demolished. I don't know exactly what the status is, but I'll check on it to make for sure.
That's
People
good.
are going in and out there at night cooking dope, and I'm tired of it.
I
I'm
understand.
fixing to let the dogs loose. I hate to say it, man. I can't sleep at night. I can't get no help. I know y'all got a lot of things going, and I appreciate Texarkana. Texarkana's been good to me as a home. But something's gotta be done about these two houses. I'm telling you, they got rats bigger than cats over there. It just ain't right for me to have to live in between these two places. I guarantee you, if it was next to Mr. Potter's over there, Mr. Tyler's, this would have done been handled. Excuse me, and I'm done.
At this time, we'll move into our Board of Directors commentary. Is there any board member that wishes to address the board? Terry?
I'm just going to keep it real brief. I know last meeting we had some discussion about the emergency service system, HyperReach. I actually got a call this weekend or a text message this weekend about that. They went in and added some different, instead of just a tornado warning and winter storm warning, there's about 5 different things. So if you were on code red, go to HyperReach and sign up. It does work well, and I know the past 2 Wednesdays you've been testing the the tornado sirens. Now, Chief Fletcher, I'm sure you were probably involved with that as well, and I appreciate your diligence on that and taking care of the citizens.
It was all Chief Fletcher.
Thank you, Chief.
Anyone else? Director Harris?
Okay, and he's right, it was around by 2:30. He did call me over there to look at that, and it is some concerns, big concerns, I understand, and it really need to be fixed, because I did look in the house at 1720, and I don't see how in a way possible. The roof falling in, the floor fell in, and then the house at 1710, it electrical is still hooked up, and he's right. Well, I don't know if he mentioned it, but that's all you had to do, get a pin and nail, stick between the two lines, and you got electric inside the house. Now, if some child walk up there and playing with that, there's no box covering the meter box on there, so I do see that's dangerous. That's possible a dangerous thing. And the house is not, and the box is not fixed where just anyone could not walk up there and mess with that box. Then I got another issue. I'll bring up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That while the other week I sent Tyler Richard, the city manager, an email and saying that how I wanted to update our customer service information. That's customer service on and I really didn't per se find a customer service per se that's written out as customer service, but I did, which I ain't gonna say, with the help of AI, I came up with 10 customer service points, and one of them is kind of addressed as to what been brought up in the board about respond in a timely way, and also one of them is about even getting a work order that is called for. But my issue is that according to the rules or orders, according to the rules or orders, I could not put this on the agenda if I get a board, a second from a board member, because according to Tyler Richard, he said that he wasn't gonna let this get on the agenda. So right now, and based on the rules of order, which I also want to put that on now, that erased the concept that if I put in a recommendation either about a resolution, about an ordinance, And if the department head, say no to it, I got to go and get another board member to say yes, so I can put this on the agenda. Now, this was done back in 2017 during the worst, well, I better say, the worst administration I ever dealt with before this, because I'd have had about 5, been up here long enough, I'd have had about 5 mayors and about 7 city managers. But that was back then, and like I said, it was basically putting.
I'm not in that.
No, you're not in there.
Wait a minute.
I said
wasn't
2017. You didn't get here until 2018.
I'm just making sure.
You wasn't in 18, so it was the mayor back in 2017. Believe it or not, we got an ordinance that, and even talking about that, even though they passed an ordinance back then, you got to put a cat on the leash. Only one person only voted against it, and guess who it was? So they just tell you that. But like I said, and then, and I'm trying to put this on the May 5th agenda, that also to do away with, I got to go, or any board member, anything that a department head doesn't like, that they got to go and get, they got to have a workshop within 30 days, and then the purpose of the workshop is to identify the item, and then then one board member got to second what I put forward. Now, like I said, that really affect me or any board member, I say probably gonna affect me more than anybody else, the ability to legislate, because every time that I put something on there, if the department head or the city manager don't like, I got to go get another board member. I got to convince him, and the only way I can really convince him by having a workshop, because technically, I know this is the first time y'all seeing this, because I can't call you up and say, hey, would you go together with me on supporting customer service ordinance? Technically, and the way it's designed up, I can't do that. You got to have a workshop, and I think that we up here got enough common sense as to what we can approve or not approve. Just look at what's not. You gonna table that B&B ordinance. Now, if something come before this board that any of y'all don't like, and I'm gonna say this too. I know if this need to be changed or added to it, because I'm not gonna get up here and say I'm the smartest person among y'all. I just may have experienced a whole lot of sometime unnecessary crap. Y'all might be being up this time, but I'm just saying this. I don't know if he still want to have the workshop, but maybe I'm trying to bypass the workshop because he got to have it within 30 days according to this, and I'm trying to do 2 things May 5th. I'm trying to amend this rules or ordinance that another board member do not need another board member to put something on the agenda. That if I put any board member put any ordinance resolution on the agenda, then it gonna come before us, and we gonna vote it up or vote it down. And then I guess if y'all probably ain't have enough time to look at this, because you just not got it, but you can also tell the city manager whether our customer service ordinance, or basically we don't have a customer service ordinance, as far as I can tell. I put it up under the standard code of conduct toward the public. So, and maybe it may need to be revised a little bit, or maybe it's a little bit correcting the grammar on some of this, but.
That's a good question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Director Hollibush.
On this, would this be an amendment to our employee handbook?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what you see. It's coming out of chapter 30,
Does that need to be in
Section
ordinance
5.
form, or is that something we?
It's in ordinance form now. If you look at the last page here, it's at ordinance 620-19. Now, how do we end up getting employees? I guess, we do have employees committee. So-
Personnel Policy Committee.
Personnel Policy Committee, and I know the first time I asked for that, I was turned down, but that's me, I didn't give up. I asked for it again, and it basically got approved by, that was established based on the resolution that I had put forward for we to establish a Personnel Policy Committee. And once it's established, that way something going through there. Now, I don't know if this has to go through it, or what, but it's really just have to do with customer service.
Director
Well,
Harris, on the first two pages, is this new?
No, the first 2 pages is what's already in there.
That was effective three-quarters?
What I got on the line, that's what's gonna be added to it. That's what's gonna be added to the Wonderland. And basically, I guess you may say I'm trying to have a workshop in a way now, but I'm just trying to let you and let the public see what a person like me have to go through, which I really think that's really unfounded, because, and this was based on the reason why I was questioning this, because I had put in some online back in this year. I had got on there and put about potholes and about some lights was, lights out, street lights out. Then Tyler wanted to tell me that they haven't got an email from that since November of last year. That the public online procedure, they don't get, they haven't got nothing, so something wrong with that. So they make them say, you ought to add that on there. If you don't hear a response within 3 days, you need to get up and you need to call down to Public Works and verify that they got your request that was online. But also, it's also got in here that if a work order could be given within a certain time frame, if you can't do it, just say if a tree fall down, you're not gonna sit up there and wait for no work order for about no tree falling down that stop traffic. But if you got potholes, which who doesn't have, what part of the city doesn't have potholes? But when I put in the request back in February, they claiming they never had got them. But even though he emailed me and told me to go ahead and send my request back to Tracy, and then they'll give me a work order. But my thing is, I just want a little bit more teeth or something, or some type of customer service thing, so the public can be aware, and then you just tell how customer service people gonna treat the employee, whether you get something in person, whether you get something online, whether you get something by email or text, and how the response you get. So, and that's basically what this is, and that's basically what I'm trying to change the rules of order.
Well, I'd like to address the director's putting requests for an ordinance on the agenda. When I got back on the board from 2 years ago, I was surprised that the directors were not able to do that. When I was, my tenure before, we were able to place on the agenda at our discretion the ordinance, you know. So I would very much support a director himself being able to place on the agenda an ordinance. So you'll have my full support
Would
for
that
that.
be something that would be voted on that night?
Well, it just go through the regular agenda. It's
No,
just like-
this is for we ain't gonna amend this night, but we gonna request for amendment on the May 5th agenda. And according to, if Tyler tell me no, which, if he told me no on this, quite sure, we taking, now, who deserves the power? Should the board member have the power here to do that, or should the city manager have the power to?
It was always, you just call up the city, better than we did before, just call up the city manager and say, hey, I want the staff to start working on an ordinance to address the issue. And the staff started working on it, and it came up, there's an ordinance just like they came up with, the way we did it back yonder.
Tyler, do you know why that was changed?
I do not. That was before my time. I do not know.
Chamber, that may be another 15 minutes.
Well, hold that till next time.
First of all, the one thing that I would check too is that, I feel like I've read somewhere too, is that in a city manager form of government, part of the responsibilities of the city manager is to control the agenda. And if that's a state statute, that's coincides with this, but I mean, that's just something I want. I'm not saying that it is, I'm just saying that's something I want to check.
I can guarantee you it's not.
The other thing about the way that we do it now, in my opinion, and my professional opinion, is controlling the agenda so that, one, the citizens are informed properly, and that we have ample time to review things to see what we're going to make. But I'm saying that if you're going to allow, we could end up one night, in this instance, you could end up one night with 20 things on the agenda.
That ain't what I'm getting at. You follow you follow everything you got to give by
Just-
5 o'clock tomorrow,
Yes, it
for
goes-
to be put on the agenda.
Well, I know there
And
are
I
rules
gave-
for that.
Yeah, and I gave it to him long before 5 o'clock. You gotta be, on, and then,
You
yeah,
do, but
we
what
not,
if you got 7 requests in one day?
we not doing away with that. We still gonna have the
I know
5
it.
o'clock deadline. If you don't meet the deadline, it's not coming. But it's just the idea that the city manager can tell another board member what he can't, and you still send, like right now, we be getting what's gonna be on the agenda last week. I got it, a week ahead of time, what the agenda may be looking like. We probably gonna get something this week, which I be getting from the city clerk, Miss Jenny. I hope she don't mind me calling her name now. But we be getting what's gonna be on the agenda at least a week ahead. And then we just said this, and then she said, if you have any question, contact the city manager. So we getting that. So it ain't like, we still gonna follow the guideline. We still gonna do all that. We still, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock by Wednesday, which Wednesday is still the deadline. It's just the ideal. Everything else stays in place.
Yeah, well, I think we have to give them, I mean, like if I want something placed, I'd want to start I'd give them a month or two, so they'd have plenty of time to go to make sure the city attorney has the time to look at it, give them plenty of time, but I think I ought to have the ability to say, hey, I want this placed on the agenda, and give them ample time to do so, but I shouldn't have to wait to have the city manager contact another city
Another board
director.
member didn't have
I
a
mean,
workshop.
yes, to get a,
But on a.
Any other?
So where we going?
You did say we're working on a new website anyway, didn't you? That could resolve that problem.
That issue has been resolved. And I was doing nothing but merely following the bylaws of the board here. The proper procedure is to hold a workshop. I asked if, Director Harris, I asked if you would like to have a workshop. I have not received a response to that. I'm happy to schedule a workshop. There's no problem whatsoever. I'm just merely following those bylaws of the board.
So for this to move forward, it would have to have a workshop.
Based on a list, right.
Correct.
Right, based
But
on,
that's the only way you're gonna get it changed.
yeah, and based on for
To get
this
it
to
on
be
the agenda.
changed, you got to be, cause, and they got to have, if he's saying no to this, I know for a fact, cause they gonna eliminate his power that he have, but then again, the board member's supposed to be, you look at the state law, we supposed to be the policy maker and of the city. Now, I don't have no problem, like I said, if the clerk or somebody get what I submitted and see, hey, we need to revise that, and one of y'all, we need to revise it. No, like I said, I ain't never saying I'm the smartest person up here. I never would even try to act like I'm the smartest person up here, But like I said, the idea, I'm putting forward an idea, but I don't think I need to go through the rigmarole just to get the idea across y'all. That's.
I agree.
Any other discussion? Any other board commentary?
I have one brief thing. Jenny, you have a slide? Right here, what you see is that a lot of the tree trimming activities is out in the wards, and I'm currently on the Public Utilities Committee, and been talking with one of the representatives from SWEPCO, which is Lisa Thompson, and we want to just go ahead and continue to let you all know that a lot of those limbs that are piled up, we do have a plan to come back and pick those limbs up. I know you all may see them all throughout the neighborhood and throughout the alleys. So please just be patient with us. We are going to get those limbs up, but just know for the betterment of the community, they have done a great, awesome job when trimming these trees because of all the power outages we've had in the last few years. Now, if you I want to address earlier, the gentleman spoke about the traffic lights. Now, if any of you will witness a traffic light being out, I have a number for you to call Ms. Holly Zacharias. Her number is 903-556-8915. And so,
That's not.
It's not for
Director Brewer, I just want to clarify, the traffic signals aren't SWEPCO's responsibility. They are the city's. Now, if the power is out and there is no light shown, period, yes, that would be SWEPCO.
All right, let me correct that. When the power is out, please call Ms. Holly Zakaris at 903-556-8915. Thanks for the correction.
Director Harris.
I think that the traffic light, I think my issue, well, from what I can see, do we have somebody here that can fix the traffic light? That's important, because if you notice lately, the city is basically doing away with the traffic light. Look at, then now the one, he said, the guy came up, spoke by, 9th Street and, Jefferson. Now, that basically was done away with by the city. Now they're trying to do away with the traffic light right there on 12th Street in County.
The pole was hit.
Well,
Yeah.
And replaced.
Those poles have a long lead time on them, and that's where we're at right now. We can't do anything about that. That's a tractor hit the pole at 9th and Jefferson.
okay, so what's going on with the 9th Street and, Jefferson?
And Jefferson?
Well, you got at County and 12th Street.
County and nothing's going on with that. Or,
No, it's 12th Street and County. It's-
Oh, where the four-way is?
It's
Yeah.
making a
Yes.
four-way.
Yes.
That light will come back.
Well, ain't you trying to do away with that one at County and 12th Street?
I'm not doing away with any more lights right now. We stopped the study at the one at 9th and Pinehurst. We're not doing away with that one, and that was the only study that I had going. Right.
Why is there a four-way, why you got, that light's not working at Jefferson and,
Because a tractor,
I'm sorry, at County and 12th Street?
I know what you're talking about now.
Well,
It's a two-way stop now. and then-
I'm sorry, I'll have to look into that one. I'm not sure what the issue is right there.
That one at 12th and County had a wiring problem on it. When the wind would blow, the wire was shorting out. They had to order the wire. It's got to be rewired, and the wire has been ordered and stuff. We're just waiting on it to get here.
Well, many of our signals are in bad need of upgrade, and that is why I initiated the studies to begin with, because each intersection, a few years ago was 20,000. I'm sure it's up to 30 or 40 at this point, but in order to upgrade those to where we can alter the timing, have accurate vehicle detection, it's going to cost 30 to 40,000 per intersection to upgrade those. So I was trying to eliminate signals that weren't warranted in order to lessen those costs. But I do not currently have any traffic studies going on for any signals.
I just thought.
Yes, go ahead.
The PUD, said, Mr. Attorney, could you explain what I right or wrong that the PUD only got to come back by tri-state, that a board member, nobody cannot bring back up a PUD?
I believe that is correct.
Any other discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Would you call the roll, please?
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollowish,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.